Alright, so today we've got a pretty short video. Not too long ago, UB let us know that we'll be receiving an update that'll go live this Thursday on the 29th. And this update only affects one character, and the title gives it away, that's Gryphon. So Gryphon is getting a few nerfs and a few changes. The reaction to this has been mixed so far, and we'll talk about that towards the end of the video, but let me quickly go over the update. So starting things off, Gryphon's side dodge heavies are having a few changes. One, they're having their damage reduced. They'll now deal 14 damage instead of 16, and the more noticeable change to his dodge attacks is that they can no longer be delayed into the dodges. They will now always come out at 300 milliseconds, where previously they could be delayed until 500 milliseconds. UB left a comment after most of these changes. Their comment for this was, "This should make side dodge attacks more predictable, as well as making it impossible to delay to dodge on most mix-ups, while still being a good dodge attack that leads to finishers." The next change was another damage nerf. The heavy following Gryphon's kick will now deal 24 damage instead of 28. This is a change that we all sort of knew was coming, and now here it is. Gryphon also has some very noticeable changes to his bash. So the bash will no longer be done from a standstill. The shove will now be a 500 millisecond forward dodge bash, adding yet again another one of these into the game. On top of this, the shove will now cost 15 stamina to do, and speaking of stamina, the shove will no longer pause stamina regeneration. Please UB, continue to remove stam pause from this game. Last noticeable change when it comes to Gryphon's badge is that Gryphon will no longer be able to chain into anything after a whiff. So if he dodges forward, bashes, and he whiffs, he won't be able to follow up with a light or heavy or anything. He'll only be able to follow up if the bash lands. UB's comment when it comes to these changes was, the previous back plus guard break input of 600 milliseconds was unreactable for most players outside of high level play. This meant that Gryphon's shove was problematic for different reasons in both casual and high level play. By making Gryphon's shove a 500 millisecond dodge forward melee, combined with the additional minimum of 300 milliseconds spent in forward dodge, the move becomes predictable for most players, while also being unreactable to players at all levels of play. Gryphon's shove should now function as a mix-up and opener that is less frustrating to face. Again, reinforcing the fact that these types of 500 millisecond bashes just work in this game, and I'm sure that we'll see a few more heroes get these bashes as we move forward. I'd like to see something new personally, but hey. Now we'll have to see how these changes feel in our hands and see what this bash is more comparable to. Lastly, a few nerfs to his tier 2 and tier 3 feats. Draconite Mist, the tier 2, will now heal for 15 health instead of 20, and the area of effect range is now reduced to 8 meters instead of 11. As for his tier 3, Draconite Bolt, it'll also heal for 15 instead of 20, and the range has also been reduced to 8 meters rather than 11. The damage of the bolt itself is being dropped to 20 damage, and the cast time of the feat is being up to 600 milliseconds instead of 400 milliseconds, so now we'll have time to see Gryphon pull the thing out before he fires. And those were all of the changes. Honestly, when I got home today and I saw people talking about Gryphon nerfs, I thought they were just speculating or theory crafting until I saw that UB actually did, confirm that these are happening. It caught me by surprise, as UB has been pretty quiet when it comes to Gryphon, despite him receiving so much backlash from a pretty large group of players. As I talked about in my Gryphon video, Gryphon has been a character that really gets under some people's skin, to the point where they just attack the player using Gryphon more so than the character themselves, hurling out these overused insults, if you want to call them that. The old monkey brain thing we've heard a million times now, the Gryphon, the free win character, yada yada. We pretty much universally agreed that Gryphon's feats needed to be nerfed. His moveset is where the contention arose, and even now, 2 hours after the announcement of these changes, I think I've seen more discussion and back and forth about these than even with all of the testing grounds changes. The update is in 3 days from the release of this video, and I'm looking forward to seeing how these changes feel in our hands. then I'll talk about it a bit more than today. I have plenty of time to use the changes as I'll be locked in my apartment for the next 2 weeks. Anyways, I do want to know what you guys think, seriously, so feel free to talk to me down in the comments about these changes, and feel free to follow me on Twitch. The link will be in the description. I'll be live a lot for the next few weeks. As always, if you like the video, feel free to leave a like and sub if you're new, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.